Civilization 4. Originally released in October of 2005, and still available today through several online stores, including Steam, Amazon, and GOG, at a cost of $19.99 for the base game, or $29.99 to receive the Complete Edition. The Complete Edition, including 2 expansions, Warlords and Beyond the Sword, and a remake of Colonization. Civilization 4 is a 4X game, where you start at the beginning of all civilization, and attempt to win by either destroying all rival civilizations, or by getting to space first. You can choose from many different civilizations across the globe, even more in the expansions, and some civilizations have more than one leader to choose from, which will slightly change the bonuses a civilization has. Each civilization also has a unique unit, though these come into play at different points in the game, as the Fast Worker of India is available right at the beginning, whereas the American's Navy SEAL unit can't be fielded till late in the game. But once you sort out the empire you wish to play as, you then start in the Stone Age. Different empires will start with different basic technology, but you'll all be using the same tech tree, so it's a very minor difference at best. Now we get into the bulk of the gameplay, that being founding cities, improving them with structures, using workers to improve the tiles around a city, and expanding your borders. The expanding of borders was a new element added to this entry in the series, and it is a very important mechanic, as you can only access materials within your borders. Later in the game, it's also possible to take over rival empire cities by completely enveloping them in your borders, meaning that for the first time ever, it may be possible to do a pacifist run. Hypothetically, anyway, I'm not sure anyone would actually want to do that. Having cities in good locations with access to resource is very important, as cities generate the money to run your empire, the culture to expand your borders, and the research points to develop your technology. But it is worth noting that you can't know if a tile has a resource until you've developed technology that requires that resource. For example, you can't see iron on the map until you've entered the Iron Age. There are 2 other major portions of the game: diplomacy and combat. Diplomacy has a lot of new options. States can become vassal states to yours, paying tribute, and in some cases will even surrender their empire whole to you, which can be both good and bad, as you will undoubtedly gain territory and access to resources. But before an empire will do this, they have to be in a fairly desperate situation. So the cities you actually gain from this may need a ton of improvements before they'll be of any use to you. And of course, you can do more basic things like trade one resource for another, trade technology in the same way, form alliances, offer gifts, or even just outright demand things. The last portion of the game is, in my opinion, the weakest portion of the game, and that is the combat. You can defend cities by stacking a large number of military units onto that city. And rival empires will do that to an insane degree. So if you're planning to take a city by military force, it's gonna take a while. Units can gain levels to get various bonuses that you can pick from. You don't really have much say over how the combat goes, however, It's all pretty much just done through dice rolls. But you can tilt the odds in your favor through choosing terrain that's beneficial for what you're doing. But if you are working as the aggressor, you may not always be able to choose the terrain. But is Civilization 4 still worth playing today? Yes it is. I actually prefer 4 to the 2 newer entries in the series. I would also say it's worth paying the extra $10 to get the complete edition, as the expansions give you more of everything. There is only one minor complaint I have with the expansions. In the base game, every time you develop a new technology, you get a little quote as read by Leonard Nimoy. The expansions give you new technologies to research, but no new quotes from Leonard Nimoy. Instead, you get quotes, but they're just read by some guy. But that is a very minor nitpick that I just had to bring up. So yes, pay $20 for the base Civ game, or better yet, pay $30 and get the complete experience. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends.